Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about how to build our own custom translator engine in which we will be uploading our own training data. We will be creating and training our own model along with the deployment. And there is a very good reason why we are going for this custom translation. So while working on document translation, sometimes business demands to use some custom defined terminology, some custom defined terms and that is very specific to our business. So in that case, rather than using standard translated terms, recommendation is to always go with the business specific terms. So let's get started. Here are the key steps which we need to perform. So first of all, we need an Azure subscription because we are going to create an instance of translator service. Then we will be creating a workspace for our custom translator, and it can be done using this particular given URL, which is at portal.customtranslator.azure.ai. Then we will be providing training data, we will be training the model, and we will deploy the model. So once deployment is done, we will go ahead and test it using one of the sample applications. So let's get started. First of all, I will go and log in onto my Azure portal. So this is the Azure portal, and the very first step which we need to do is to create the translator resource. So click on the translator, click on create, and it will open up a new page wherein we need to create a translator. So here, let it load the resource groups. So I'm using existing resource group, but you can definitely go ahead and create the new one. Next, we need to define the reasons. So for translator, it totally depends on you which reason you would like to deploy it. So I would like to go for the multi-reason deployment. So in that case, I can go for the global, and we can provide the name of this translator instance. So we can say custom sample translator. Pricing tier we can select. So if you're just doing some trials, then you can go for free one. Otherwise, you can go for S1. Once it is done, click on review plus create. So it will work on some validations and will ask you to click on the create button. So until this deployment is in progress, let's go ahead and work on a workspace creation part. So for workspace creation, we need to log in onto the portal.custom. In fact, we can pick it directly from the here. This so log into that. So if you are doing it for the first time, it will ask you to click and get agree upon some agreements. But for me, I'm doing it for the second time or say the third time, so it is not asking for any sort of agreements. So whenever you are doing for the very first time, first thing we need to create is the workspace. So on the left hand side, click on create workspace. And here we need to provide the name of our workspace. So I'm providing it custom sample translator. Let's rename it. Yeah, custom sample translator. Click on next. And here we need to choose a subscription. So subscription could be the translator text or it could be the one which you have already created for the cognitive services. So for demo purpose, I'm going with the specific one, which is translator text. And the reason would be the same which you have selected while creating the instance. So it is global. And here we need to supply the key. So for supplying the key, let's go to the Azure portal and yeah, it is deployed. Go here and copy this one paste it over here. So in case if key is invalid or anything, then it will not allow you to proceed. So everything went well till here. So click on done. Okay, so the workspace is created. I will click on the workspace. And next thing we need to do is to create a project. So let's click on this, name the project. So we'll name something like custom sample proj. And next if your description is completely optional, so if you'd like, you can mention it, otherwise leave it empty. Now we need to select the language pair, what translation you need to do. So I'm going to do a translation between English to French. Coming on to the category, there are various categories which you can select based on your business needs. And if you're not sure, then it is always good to go for general one. So again, these two fields are completely optional. So click on create. So you can see that the project is created and the new category ID is assigned. So category ID is the combination of workspace ID as well as the category which is selected. So for us, we selected general. And next thing is the language pair, which is English to French. Now, next thing we need to do is to upload the files for the training purpose. So for that, click on this, and on this dialog, you will see that document type. So there are 5 different document types which are available. The first one is the training, and it is quite self-explanatory. So training refers to all those documents which will be used for training a model. And the important point to remember here is it can contain 10K parallel sentences, means source can have 10K as well as target can have another 10K. So this is the minimum requirement which we need to fulfill. Next comes the testing. So testing documents are used once the model is trained and we need to verify it. So, but the important thing which we need to make sure is whatever the text we are putting in testing should not be present in the training set. Third one is the tuning. It is like similar to training. If you need to upload any additional document which can help your model behave more accurate. And phrase dictionary. Sorry. So phrase dictionary and sentence dictionary, these are the two dictionaries. So phrase dictionary is basically a case sensitive one, which means during a translation process, exact word along with the case would be matched. Whereas in case of sentence dictionary, it is again a key value pair and there is no restriction on the case. So it could be anything. So let's select training because this is the one which you will be using most of the times. And here we can see there is parallel data. So left hand side is the source file and right hand side is the target file. So we need to upload these files. So I will go ahead and upload a file under English and I will upload the respective file for the French. We have to name it. So let's give this name. You can give any name, but it's always good so that you can relate what all sets you have uploaded under this particular document. Next is the archive. So let's say if you want to upload multiple files, then rather than doing one by one, you can directly upload them using zip, TMX. So any of these formats, you can use it and you can upload all the files in one shot. So click on upload. Sometimes it takes time to upload. So let's give it few seconds. So if you want to view the upload progress, you can click on that and you can see that it is showing progressing, succeeded. Well, so let's go back to the documents. And here you should see the newly added document. And if you will click on this document, you can see what all text we have uploaded side by side. So this one is English and this is the French translation of the same phrase. Now, let's go to the project and I can show you one important thing, which is again a restriction. So you have uploaded one document. Now try to create the model. So in that case, before that, you can see that it is showing message that these many sentences were selected and this is the incurring cost. So let's try to create it now. It is saying that in order to use this, you should have a minimum 10K training pairs, right? This is what we have talked about. So it means we need to upload more files. So I will quickly go ahead and do that. This is the another pair which I am uploading. I do not want to see the progress. It's okay. Let's upload one more set 3, and here also set 3. I will name it as Gen 3. Click on upload and let's go and view the progress because this is slight bigger file, so it may take few additional seconds. Okay, so we are good, and here you should see 3 files listed because we have done 3 in parallel. Okay, so go back to the project and now we will try to create a model. So when creating a model, we can select what all training data we need to include. So as of now, I want to include all my files. So click on create model. Now here we need to provide the name of the model. So I would provide custom sample model. Okay, and would you like to train it immediately or you would like to upload some more data and till then you want to like save it as a draft? So you can make a choice as per your need. So let's go with the immediate training and click on create model. So you can see that training submitted. Click on it and you will notice that it has started the training process. So this process may take close to 20 to 30 minutes depending on how much data you are using as a training set. It is still processing, may take some more time. So training is queued and it is about to complete. Let's give it a few more seconds. Okay, meanwhile, when it is running, maybe I can show you one more thing. Let's click on this particular model, and here you can see first column is the name of the file which we have added as a training set. Second is the type. Third is the English sentences, and the fourth column is for French sentences. And the numbers which you are seeing here are the total number of counts which we uploaded. So for Gen 1, we sent 1105 English sentences and 1105 is a French. And it would be almost the same. In fact, it would always be the same because if there is any difference, then system will report an error and it will not take it as a training set. So that's the reason English and the French sentence counts are same. Coming on to the aligned sentences. So aligned sentences means out of 1105, 1028 were the sentences which were actually aligned, and out of those 1028, only 89 sentences were actually used by the model. So what this data says is, if the variation between this particular 1105 and the aligned sentences, if it is more than 10%, it means then data quality is not that good and it is questionable. We need to look into the training data which we have uploaded. So it is always good to go for higher training data or the more number of training records. So let's come back and see if training is completed. So training is still running, looking like it is going to take few more minutes. So let's wait for that. So it is still running. So it has succeeded, and we can see it has written training succeeded. The new thing which you can notice on this is the blue score. So blue is short form bilingual evaluation under study, and it is an industry standard for evaluating the precision, or you can say the accuracy of the translation model. And this measurement is done in between the automatic translation and the one which is created by the human, like the reference one. So better this score, better the translation model is. So in our case, it is pretty good. 80% is quite high with respect to the baseline score, which is 37.3. Well, so now let's have a look at one more thing. Let's click on the test. And you can see that what were the test results when model evaluated our data. So it just picked random 50 sentences, and let's see. So if we are giving English sentences, pleased to meet you, then the reference, so there are three things: reference, custom, and the general. So reference is the target side of a document. Custom is where the translation was done against our custom model. And the general is the general, how the baseline has done the translation. So you can see that how these three things are done for each of these testing sentences. Now so if you would like to improve any of these, definitely you can go ahead and upload another set of data and get it started. Now the final thing which I need to discuss is the deployment part. So here you can see on the right hand side there is a deploy button. So this button is visible only if the training is succeeded. So let's click on that. Here you can see that we can deploy this particular model in various regions. So these are the three regions where we can deploy as of now, and each of these has undeployed and the deployed in their drop down. So we can either choose all or we can go with the one of our choice. So I'm not going to do the deployment here because it is going to take another 40 to 50 minutes. Rather, I would show you the one which I have already deployed. So let's cancel it and switch on to this project. So this is the project which I have already deployed it. And in fact, it is having the same number of sentences and the same data. Now, once everything is done and deployed, next what we need to do is we may have a need to update the deployment, or sometimes we may have to update the keys. So for updating that, you can go to the settings and here you can see the change and the delete key. So if you are doing any changes in your Azure side, you can come back and update the subscription accordingly. Now till here we have created our model, we have trained it, and we have done everything. Let's go ahead and use that model. Let's see how it is behaving. So for that, I have created a sample application. So this is the application, which is nothing but just hardly 10 to 12 lines of code. And here we need a key. So key is the same which we have seen, which we have created for our custom translator. Right, so let's go here and go to key and endpoints. And this is the thing which we need to copy and place it under the key. Region is the region where you have deployed your translator. And this is the route which we need to use is, and there are two important things here. One is this value, which is the category value. So this value we can get it from the translator. So you can go to the projects, click on the project, and this entire category ID is the one which we are going to use for the category. And at the end, you can see allow fallback true. So if this flag is set to true, in that case, what will happen? Let's say if some text is not matching with our training data or the input or uploaded documents, in that case, it will fall back to the default translation or the standard translations. Next is the host, and this is the same URL which you can grab it from here, text translation URL. And after that, nothing we are fancy we are doing. So this is the input text, and for that input text we are constructing a JSON object. So this object I'm serializing it over here. And next, this is the post, and the request URI is constructed with the combination of the host as well as the route, because route contains the actual category ID, which is our model details. And these are the two headers we need to mention, which is one for key and one for the region. And lastly, we need to call this API. So let's go ahead and try this out. Okay, so enter text for translation. So first of all, I will just give the simple hello. And you can see that it has converted the hello to bonjour, and the text, the translation was in French. Let's try one more thing. Now, before trying another thing, I would like to take you to one of the translation documents which we have used, and we'll see how things behave over there. So let's try out this. Glad to meet you. So if I will run the application, and if I say glad to meet you, so it should give the one which we have mentioned in our translator. So you can see that it is exactly matching with the one which is mentioned against this. Similarly, let's try out one more thing. Okay, so let's see you are welcome. So I will go ahead and try this one. So let it launch. Okay, so I think I didn't copy it. Copy it from here and paste it here. So you can see the translated text, which is, I couldn't read it, but you can see that it is the same which I have mentioned here. Now, if I will go ahead and use Google to see what the actual translation is. So you can see that it is something different. But the translator, the model which we have trained, is using the text, which is this one. So the output what we are expecting is this one rather than the standard text which got translated over here. Now let's try out one more thing. So this time we will use the text which is not present as part of our training set. So let's give it a try. When are we meeting? So it should translate something and give it to us. So now this text is not part of my training data, but still I can see that I received some output, and it is the same as the standard translation. So this is how things work, and this is what I would like to show you today. Hope you enjoyed translating using the custom translator, and we'll see you next time with another great feature. Till then, keep watching. Thank you.